Welcome to this Red Jacket Speakers Showcase on the Mental Health Roundtable. I'm Diana Rodriguez, and today I'll be in conversation with Colleen Wilson. I am the creator of the Kappa model. It's a framework that helps people and teams strengthen resilience, improve well-being, create spaces where they can thrive personally and professionally. Colleen, thank you for being here. My first question to you today will be, what is the key idea or theme you speak on?
Thank you so much, Diana. I'm so delighted to be here. So, amongst other things, a core focus of my work is around speaking into nervous system literacy, which I believe is the lost language or the untaught language from school side, even where we get to learn to communicate with our nervous system. So we get to listen to it and we get to communicate with it in such a way that we can move our lives into staying in our window of tolerance, our green zone, for longer periods of time and be able to get back into our green zone quicker because of this language of the nervous system that we learn.
And what problem does this solve?
So if you don't mind if I share screen with you for a
Sure.
moment, just to explain that, the problem that it solves, and that is that when we are outside of our window of tolerance, this green place over here in the middle, where we are flexible, adaptable, coherent, energized, empathetic, strategic, stable, etc., all the good sweet spot of life. When we are outside of that, we are either in hyper or hyper arousal. And the language of the nervous system allows us to recognize faster when we are outside of our window of tolerance, to recognize what takes us outside of our window of tolerance, and to start to learn what brings us back into our window of tolerance, which means that we can stay less stressed more often, which means that we can mitigate the risk of full-blown burnout because in this languaging of where we are in our nervous system and the recognition of when we're outside of our window of tolerance and the understanding of what brings us back, we get to not only be in our window of tolerance more, but we get to expand it and grow the window of tolerance so we have greater capacity for life, basically. So, what problem does this solve in a nutshell? This is the GPS, the stress GPS that I workshop with corporates and in families and in individuals that allows us to map our way away from burnout and towards thriving by living in our window of tolerance more.
I think the world needs that. Absolutely. So, which audiences benefit most from your work? I know you said families, corporates, but which audiences benefit most from your work?
Well, that's a hard question to answer because if you've got a nervous system, then you're going to benefit from this work. But when I do this work in team environments, it becomes so powerful because instead of people judging each other's behaviors, like so and so is so stressed and so is so grouchy or so is so unavailable, we get to start to see ourselves and each other in terms of our level of nervous system regulation or dysregulation, and it changes how we interact. So instead of seeing that as bad behavior or poor actions or poor productivity or performance, we get to see it as a function of a dysregulated nervous system. And when teams are cohesive and collaborative, then the objective comes about bringing each other and ourselves back into our window of tolerance, because that's when we are all the best versions of ourselves. So it takes blame, shame, and criticism away from a team environment, and it brings in instead empathy and support and an empowered space for stress resilience.
And of course, understanding each other, that brings clarity in itself.
Yes.
Why now and why you?
Why now? Because the statistics around burnout have never in human history been as high as they are now. So the time is right for us all to manage our nervous systems. We all also know that we cannot be the best version of ourselves while we are dysregulated. And why me is because as an Enneagram practitioner and somebody who works with stress, overwhelm, and burnout, I help people access the best version of themselves through their Enneagram process, their personality profiler, and build their nervous system so that their nervous system can allow them to show up as their best person because they are not tripped up by their own level of dysregulation.
Well, thank you, Colleen, for that. And thank you for sharing this stress GPS model. So I'm sure it can make a huge difference all over. So
Thank you.
it's such a practical way to remind ourselves that stress doesn't have to control us. We can control the stresses around us.
Yeah. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you. And for more conversations like this, connect with our Red Jacket Speaker Showcase series and discover more expert voices on mental health and well-being.
Thank you.